There is a force inside you that no one taught you how to use. It's not talent, it's not luck, and it sure as hell isn't motivation. Motivation is a spark. This is a furnace. It doesn't flicker when things get hard. It doesn't beg for comfort. This force doesn't ask for your permission. It demands your obedience. It is the weapon of the relentless, the edge of the obsessed, the final card of those who refuse to lose, and the ones who change the world. They don't just know this weapon, they live by it. Carnegie built steel empires with it. Ford revolutionized the world with it. Lincoln endured defeat after defeat and still stood tall because of it. And Edison failed over 10,000 times and never stopped swinging. What did they know that most people will never understand? They knew the truth. The secret weapon of the world's most successful people is inner domination. The ability to conquer yourself, to win the war inside before the world even sees you coming, because until you take full command of your mind, your habits, your emotions, the world will own you. And your dream, it will rot in the soil of your hesitation. Success isn't built in comfort. It's built in the silent hours when no one is watching and your demons are screaming at you to quit. But the elite, they don't listen. They command. They've trained their minds to become weapons, sharpened by discipline, fueled by purpose, directed by vision, and you can too. But first you must choose. Not wish, not hope, choose. Most people are stuck not because they don't want more, but because they haven't made the decision to become more. They wait for clarity, wait for motivation, wait for someone to give them permission to rise. But no one is coming to save you, and the longer you wait, the more your potential decays. Look around. The world is full of people who once had dreams. Now they have excuses, but not you, because if you're hearing this, you already know deep down there's something inside of you that won't settle. You were not built for mediocrity, you were built for legacy. But here's the truth they don't teach you in school or preach on social media. The enemy is not outside of you. The enemy is the version of you that's addicted to comfort, the one that hits snooze, the one that procrastinates, the one that wants success without the pain of growth. And until you silence that voice, the rest doesn't matter. Discipline beats inspiration. Purpose beats passion. And belief, true belief, beats every obstacle you'll ever face. The moment you decide that this life, this mind, this body, they are under your command, that is the moment the game changes. Think about it. How did Edison keep going when the entire world thought he was insane? How did Lincoln endure depression, betrayal, and political collapse to become one of history's greatest leaders? How did Carnegie rise from poverty to become the richest man in America? It wasn't external, it was internal. They had something no one could see, a fire that didn't need applause, a will that didn't care about how long it took, a mind that refused to fold, even under pressure that would break most people. They mastered the battlefield within, and so must you, because every goal you want, every dream you chase, every ounce of success, wealth, freedom, and impact, it lives on the other side of your current identity. You cannot drag old habits into a new life. You cannot bring a fragile mindset into a future that demands mental armor. You must evolve. And evolution is violent. It destroys who you were to give birth to who you must become. Listen to me. The people who rise, the ones who build empires, shift industries, become legends, they are not superhuman. They are super-focused. They do not dabble. They decide. They don't wait. They create. They don't look for balance. They go all in. And the reason they win is because they've done the one thing that 99% of people will never do. They've made their mind their servant, not their master. They understand that your thoughts are not truths, they are tools, and if you don't take control of them, they will control you. So how do you do it? How do you break free from the loop? How do you build this weapon inside yourself? You start by confronting the mirror. You stop lying to yourself about what you're doing, about what you're avoiding, about the life you're pretending to build while scrolling through distractions. You get brutally honest. Success doesn't respond to appearances. It responds to alignment between what you say you want and what you're willing to do for it. And once you've ripped the mask off, you build structure. You eliminate choice in the things that matter. Discipline is not restriction, it's liberation. It frees you from the emotional chaos that ruins potential. Because the truth is, most people are emotional slaves. They only work when they feel like it. They only act when it's easy. And so they live the same year 75 times and call it a life. But not you, not anymore. Because if you can hear these words, something inside you is waking up. A voice you've tried to silence. A fire you've tried to tame. But it's done waiting. It's time to become the person who deserves the life you want. No more excuses. No more half effort. No more negotiating with weakness. The world will not hand you greatness. You must take it. And the only way to take it is to earn it daily, repeatedly, without applause, because greatness is a quiet process. It happens in the dark. Before the world sees the glory, you must endure the grind. Before the spotlight, before the recognition, before the applause and the wealth and the empire, there is a season of silence, a season of becoming. And in that silence, most people quit because there are no rewards in the beginning, just resistance. There is no applause, only doubt. No cheering crowd, only the sound of your own breath in the dark, wondering if it's all worth it. But the successful, they're not afraid of the silence. They build in it. They train in it. They bleed in it. Because they know what you must now come to believe with everything in you. Success is not an event, it is an identity. You don't stumble into success, you construct it. And the blueprint is written in discipline as sacrifice and mental warfare. You want to be powerful? Learn to do what you said you'd do, long after the mood you set it in has died. You want to stand at the top? Be willing to dig deeper when everyone else is tapping out, because the top is not crowded, not because it's unreachable, but because most people refuse to pay the price. Let me tell you a truth that should shake you. You are one decision away from an entirely different life. One decision to stop blaming and start building. One decision to stop talking and start doing. One decision to stop waiting and start becoming. The problem is you've been programmed to avoid that decision, to stay safe, to fit in, to follow the rules, to stay small and call it realistic. But the greats, those who broke the mold, shattered records, changed history, they were unrealistic by design. Do you think Walt Disney was realistic when he said he'd build a kingdom out of a mouse? Do you think Elon Musk was playing it safe when he bet his fortune on rockets and electric cars? Do you think Muhammad Ali cared what people thought when he said, "I am the greatest," before he ever won a title? Number. They didn't obey the limits of the average, they rewrote them, and that's what you must do now. Burn the blueprint of mediocrity. Shatter the idea that you have to wait to become who you already are on the inside. That fire in your chest, that's not restlessness. It's recognition. It's your future self calling you forward, telling you you were made for more. not someday, now. But make no mistake, this path will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you popularity. It will cost you lazy friends, late nights, and false approval. But it will give you everything: peace of mind, self-respect, freedom, power, legacy. The question is, are you willing to trade what's easy for what's eternal? Because legacy is built in private, when you rise early and no one notices, when you sacrifice now for what can't be seen yet, when you show up when no one's watching. That's the secret most will never tell you. It's not the Instagram highlight reel. It's the work in the shadows. It's the 100 silent reps, the 1,000 ignored failures, the decade of discipline when no one claps, the successful. They've mastered that. They've made peace with pain. They've fallen in love with repetition. They've made their discomfort their home. You think David Goggins is superhuman? No, he's willing to suffer for what most people only wish for. You think Kobe Bryant became the Black Mamba by talent alone? Number. He was the first in the gym and the last to leave, every day, for years, because the secret weapon of the greats isn't their skill, it's their standard. They don't lower it for emotions. They don't soften it for weakness. They rise to meet it again and again until the rest of the world has no choice but to bow. You want to become unstoppable? Stop breaking promises to yourself. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you train your mind to doubt your word. Every time you hit snooze, you tell your future self that sleep is more important than success. Every time you choose comfort, you reinforce the belief that you're not strong enough to face pain, but when you follow through, especially when it hurts, you forge something rare: self-trust. And self-trust is where confidence is born, not from quotes, not from hype, not from a morning routine, from witnessing yourself show up in the moments that matter most. You want more? Prove it, not to them, to you. When you say, "I'm going to the gym," go. When you say, "I'm building this business," build. When you say, "I'm done playing small," act like it, because the version of you that gets everything you want, they're already out there, living with intensity, moving with purpose, executing with no exit plan. You don't need more information. You need a decision. You don't need another course, another book, another guru telling you what you already know. You need to sit with yourself, really sit and ask, who am I becoming if I keep living like this? And then answer, who must I become to live the life I know I'm meant for? Because no one can give you that answer but you, not me, not a podcast, not a coach. Only you can choose to awaken the weapon inside, the one that refuses to quit, the one that doesn't care how long it takes, the one that doesn't need the world's permission to become legendary. That weapon is your mind. And when trained, directed, and owned, it can bend reality to your will. The truth is, every day you wake up, you're in a war. Not against people, not against society, not even against your circumstances. You are at war with the part of you that's okay staying average, and you either kill that part of you every day, or it kills your dream, quietly, slowly, methodically. The greatest lie ever told is that greatness is reserved for the chosen few. It's not. Greatness is a decision, a path, a code of conduct. It's the result of a person who chooses every day to suffer deliberately for what they believe in. You think Steve Jobs was chosen? Number. He was obsessed with detail, obsessed with excellence, obsessed with a vision the world couldn't see, but he could. He refused to let the noise of others drown out his inner voice. And so must you, because the world will try to convince you that your dream is too big, that you're not ready, that success is for someone else. But listen to me clearly, they're only echoing the doubts they haven't killed in themselves. And if you listen, if you let their noise get louder than your belief, you'll end up living their life, not yours. This world will not hand you your destiny. It will test you. It will laugh at you. It will dare you to quit. And if you don't rise, it will move on. But if you do rise, if you step into your fire, master your mind, and refuse to bow, the world will kneel, not because it wanted to, but because it had no choice. You must understand this. Success is not a mystery. It's not luck. It's not magic. It is alignment between your thoughts, your decisions, and your behavior. It is relentless consistency in the face of invisible progress. It is clarity so strong that no rejection, no failure, no delay can kill it. You want to know why most people never make it? Because they've built a life reacting to the world instead of commanding it. Their attention is hijacked, their time is wasted, their energy is scattered, and they wonder why their life feels like it's slipping through their fingers. But the successful, they take control, they don't live by chance, they live by design, they protect their mornings, they guard their vision, they feed their belief like it's oxygen, and they remove anything that dulls their edge, even if it's comfortable. Because the secret weapon of the world's most successful people is that they are willing to do what average people refuse to do. They do the deep work, not the easy work. They say no more than they say yes. They eliminate distraction. They choose pain now to buy freedom later. And when it hurts, they don't run, they don't escape. They lean in, because pain is not punishment. It's preparation. It's the weight that forges strength, the pressure that builds diamonds, the friction that awakens greatness. When you feel fear, good, it means you're moving. It means you're standing at the edge of growth, and the edge is where you were born to live. The safest life is the one that never expands, but it's also the one that never matters. So if you're tired of shrinking, if you're tired of waiting, if you're tired of wondering if there's more, stop asking for signs. Start becoming the sign. Become the proof that a person can take total control of their destiny. That a person can rise from average to unstoppable, not because of who they were, but because of who they decided to become. Every empire begins in the unseen. Every revolution starts with a whisper inside the soul. That whisper inside you, it's real. It's not your imagination. It's your potential trying to wake you up. But potential without execution is poverty. Ideas without action are empty. So decide right now, no more delay, no more pretending, no more saying someday. Today is the day you forge the new you, the version of you who doesn't beg for power, but embodies it. The version who doesn't wait for the world to change, but becomes the force that changes it. The future belongs to the mentally armed, those who can endure pain, silence doubt, and act when no one else will. Those who treat the mind like a muscle, trained, disciplined, and dangerous. Those who move with vision, who think with clarity, who live with fire in their gut. So ask yourself now, brutally and honestly, have you truly been giving your best? Have you shown up every day with purpose, or just gone through the motions? Have you built a life worth remembering, or just one that's convenient? And if the answer shakes you, good. That shake is your wake-up call. Because everything you want is still available. It's still on the table. But not for long. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Listen to me. Really hear this. You are not here to live a quiet life of regret. You are not here to blend in, play it safe, and die with your greatness still inside you. You are here to conquer, to expand, to rise, to build something so real, so bold, so powerful, that it echoes beyond your lifetime. But that only happens when you stop negotiating with your weakness. You have to choose comfort or conviction, security or sovereignty, average or absolutely unforgettable. There is no middle ground anymore. The clock is ticking, and your life is happening either way. So let today be the line in the sand. Let this moment be the one you point back to when people ask you, "How did you become who you are?" And you say, "I stopped lying to myself. I stopped waiting for the right moment. I stopped trying to be liked. And I made a decision that changed everything. I decided to become dangerous, dangerous to doubt, dangerous to fear, dangerous to the limits I used to obey, because the secret weapon of the world's most successful people was never given to them. They built it. They forged it in the dark. They trained it in silence. They sharpened it through failure, rejection, and years of unseen work. And now it's your turn. No more watching from the sidelines. No more waiting for a guarantee. No more letting potential rot while the years pass you by. You want the life you dream about? Earn it. Earn it by becoming someone the world cannot ignore. Earn it by walking into the storm when everyone else runs. Earn it by choosing power over permission, execution over excuses, and fire over fear. You are the weapon. The clock doesn't care about your excuses. The world isn't waiting to hand you anything. And success, it bows to no one but the relentless. This is the part nobody wants to hear, that the top 1% didn't get there because they had some magic door open. They built the damn door, they broke down the walls, they burned the ships so they could never retreat, because when you have no plan B, you become plan A. The truth is harsh. Most people won't win, not because they can't, but because they won't decide to, because they're waiting for a guarantee instead of creating their own. But the world's most successful people, they know the secret. It's not strategy. It's not even skill. It's identity. They become the person who succeeds before the results ever show up. They walk like it, talk like it, think like it, act like it, long before anyone claps, long before anyone cares. They don't wait to be crowned. They declare themselves, and from that declaration comes discipline. Because when you know who you are, every action either honors that identity or betrays it. So what do? They master the morning, because the world is loud, but the morning is pure. They use those quiet hours not to consume, but to create. They pour into the mind, because you can't build a mansion on mental junk. They read, they write, they visualize, not once, not occasionally, daily, because repetition is the mother of belief. They understand that clarity is power. You can't hit a target you can't see, so they don't just dream vaguely. They design precisely. Where do I want to be? Who do I have to become to get there? What does that version of me do when things get hard? Then they act with urgency, with fire, with obsession, because the world's most successful people know you don't get what you want. You get what you are. They don't negotiate with fear. They don't beg for motivation. They create momentum by choosing courage in the moments that matter most. And they don't avoid pain. They lean into it, because they know pain is not the enemy. Comfort is. Comfort keeps you soft. Comfort makes you forget who you are. But pressure makes diamonds. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before the light bulb sparked. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Henry Ford was laughed out of 5 businesses before he redefined industry. They didn't wait for proof. They became the proof. And that's the mindset you need. You need to walk like a champion before the belt is yours. You need to train like a legend before anyone knows your name, because you are planting seeds. And every seed you plant, every habit, every late night, every rejection you endure without breaking, it's shaping the roots of something unstoppable. The question is, will you keep going long enough to see it grow? Gratitude is also part of the secret weapon, not the kind you post online, the kind you practice when nothing is going your way. Gratitude that sharpens you, gratitude that reminds you, I woke up today. I get to try again. I get to fight again. I get to build again. And through it all, the weapon sharpens, because resilience isn't a trait. It's a choice you make every day to rise when quitting is easier. The successful know this. They don't chase perfect conditions. They adapt. They evolve. They learn faster than anyone else. Every loss becomes a blueprint. Every failure, a teacher. Every setback, a setup, because the world's most successful people don't stop when it gets hard. They begin there. That's the line. That's the difference. And you can cross it right now. You can decide that you're done living at half your power, that you're done letting doubt dictate your moves, that you are done asking permission to be great. Greatness isn't given, it's declared. So stand up and declare it, because the secret weapon, it's not out there, it's not in books alone, it's not in courses or hacks, it's in you, in your decision to rise, in your refusal to retreat, in your courage to become the person your destiny demands. This is how legacies are made. This is how empires are built, not by chance, not by comfort, by conviction, by clarity, by relentless action in the face of every excuse. You know what to do. You've always known. So go do it. And don't just become successful, become undeniable.